All right, today we're talking about a weapon that's changing the face of modern war. But it's not doing it with super advanced tech, it's doing it with basic economics. This is the story of the Shahed 136, a drone that basically weaponizes the price tag. So to really get what's happening here, we need to start not on the battlefield, but with the budget. Because it all kicks off with a massive, multi-million-dollar problem that modern militaries are facing right now. Okay, think about it like this. On one side, you've got incredibly sophisticated weapons like the American Tomahawk cruise missile. We're talking about $2 million for a single shot. And on the other side, you've got the Shahed 136. It's a one-way attack drone, and it costs maybe $20,000. That is literally cheaper than a brand new car. And that right there leads us to the big question we're going to tackle. How is a weapon that is this cheap completely rewriting the rules of modern warfare? Let's dive in. So to understand its huge impact, we've got to look at what this thing actually is. It has this almost goofy nickname, the flying scooter, which, trust me, hides a seriously effective design. So let's get into the guts of it. So the official term for the Shahed 136 is a loitering munition. And the name pretty much says it all. You can launch it, and it will just hang out, or loiter, over a target area, circling around, just waiting for the right moment to dive in and attack. And because it attacks by slamming right into its target and blowing up, well, it's also earned the much more direct name, suicide drone. And the drone itself? It's shockingly simple. There's no secret futuristic technology here. It's really just built from stuff you can pretty much buy off the shelf. It's got a warhead, a basic delta wing frame, a commercial-grade GPS for navigation, and a cheap, Chinese-made two-stroke engine. Its real genius isn't in how complex it is, but in how simple it is. And that simple engine, it puts out just 50 horsepower. That's it. It's just enough to push the drone along at about 200 kilometers per hour. So it's not fast, but as you're about to see, it really doesn't need to be. And that little 50 horsepower engine is exactly where the drone gets its famous nickname. When it's flying overhead, it makes this really distinct buzzing noise that, well, it sounds just like a scooter zipping down the street. So on the battlefield, it just became known as the flying scooter. But here's the thing, that sound isn't just some weird side effect. It's actually a feature. That constant, buzzing threat is designed to have a psychological impact. It creates fear, it creates anxiety on the ground. It's basically a 21st century version of those infamous Jericho trumpet sirens that German dive bombers used in World War II specifically to terrify people. So we have a cheap, simple, and really loud drone. How does that become a serious strategic threat? Well, the answer isn't in what one drone can do, but in how they're used together. This is where we get to the attack of the swarm. So how do they even get these things airborne? Well, it's pretty simple. They're mounted on a basic rack, a lot of times just on the back of a regular truck. A little rocket booster gives it the initial kick to get it off the rail. Then, once it's up in the air, its two-stroke engine sputters to life. The rocket booster falls away to save weight, and the drone's on its way. The real genius, though, is in the tactics. They don't send these out one by one. They launch them in swarms, sometimes dozens at a time. They fly low to the ground to try and sneak under radar, and they can coordinate to hit a bunch of different targets at once. Some are even kitted out to hunt for radar signals, which means they can go after the very air defense systems that are trying to shoot them down. And that swarm tactic, it creates a nearly impossible problem for anyone trying to defend against them. And this brings us right to the heart of the matter, the defender's dilemma. Right, here it is. This is the most crucial point. Modern air defenses absolutely can shoot these drones down. The problem isn't the technology, it's the economics. Stopping them is completely possible, but it's financially devastating. And this right here shows you the problem perfectly. On the far left, you see that tiny little bar. That's the $20,000 cost to attack. Now look at the other bars, the cost to defend. The very cheapest option, an Iron Dome interceptor, is double the cost. And something like a Patriot missile, we're talking millions. The difference is just staggering. Let's just break down the raw numbers because this is where it gets really wild. If you fire a $40,000 Iron Dome missile to shoot down a $20,000 drone, you are spending twice as much on defense as they are on attack. But what if you have to use a $3 million Patriot missile? Now you're spending 150 times more. You could literally win every single battle, shoot down every single drone, and still go completely broke in the process. So this insane cost imbalance, it's more than just a tactical problem on the battlefield. It's signaling a massive shift in military strategy itself. It's creating a whole new set of rules for how wars are fought. What this all boils down to is that the Shahed 136 is more than just a drone. It represents a whole new way of fighting a war where victory might not go to the side with the fanciest technology, but to the side with the most cost-effective strategy. It's a war of economic attrition, where the whole point is to make defending yourself so expensive that your enemy just can't afford to keep fighting. And that leaves us with this final, pretty sobering question to think about. When it costs you $150 to stop a $1 threat, and you have to do that over and over and over again, who's actually winning?